guys, so I wanted to do a sit down video this week and talk about having a baby in special care baby unit. For those of you that have followed me since the beginning, you'll know that Mollie wasn't very well and that she was in special care baby unit at Shrewsbury, and then she got moved to Birmingham Children's Hospital and had to have an operation. There's blog posts over on my blog about that, so I'll link that down below for you guys that don't know about that. And basically I wanted to do a video and talk about my experience and what I wish I would have known back then to make things more bearable. I'm not going to say easier because it's never going to be easier, but to make them more bearable, so that if any of you guys are searching for stuff on this topic because your baby's in special care unit, this might help you just that little bit. That would mean a lot to me if I could help someone just that little bit to make things easier for them. Having a baby in special care baby unit isn't anything we plan. Some people obviously know that their baby's going to be there because they've detected something in the ultrasounds and they know that they're going to need that little bit extra help when they come into the world. But some of us don't know. There's certain things that don't come up on ultrasounds, and it's very much a shock when you think you're going to be able to take your baby home and you have all this plan and you think, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and it doesn't quite go that way. I wanted to exclusively breastfeed. That was my plan. You know, I was all for like breast is best, and you know, I had other friends that were pregnant at the same time and they were like, oh, it's not for me, I want a bottle feed. And I was like, oh, but you've got to try it, it's the best thing for your baby, and it's, you know, it's nature's thing. And I was very, I want to say brainwashed. I mean, I know there's some mothers out there that love breast and think it's the best thing for your baby, and it is, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't breastfeed. The reason Mollie was in Scbu was because she couldn't feed. There was something wrong with her throat. She had left-sided vocal palsy, narrowing of the voice box, and floppy larynx. And there is medical terms for all of them. They're in her red book, but I can't pronounce them. They're very long. But basically, Mollie needed to have an operation at 2 weeks old to try and correct this problem. She also needed an NG feed, which meant I couldn't give her anything orally, i.e. I couldn't breastfeed her after they'd found out what was wrong with her. I pumped. My god, I pumped. I tried so hard to keep up with the breast milk because doctors and midwives and nurses and everybody was telling me, you know, it's the best thing, she'll get better faster, it's the best thing for her and you need to keep on it. I get that, but it put so much stress on me that I didn't need at the time. Mollie was really ill, and at the very beginning nobody would tell me that she was going to be okay. They basically kept brushing over the question and, you know, tiptoeing around it, because in the beginning they didn't know what was wrong. It could have been something a lot worse than it was, although if they hadn't have intervened, what was wrong with her could have been a lot worse than it was. They'd never seen all three things in one baby before, so they were kind of like shocked because each and every one of them aren't linked and each and every one of them is just a fluke thing. It's not hereditary, anything like that, so she was just really unlucky. But looking back, I wouldn't have put as much stress on myself. I was going through a hard thing. Us as a family was going through a hard thing. All of a sudden I was a mother. That was new. And then all of a sudden I had this ill child that, you know, I couldn't touch, or I felt like I couldn't bond with. If I could do it all again, I wouldn't put as much stress on myself over the whole breastfeeding thing. I know that it's the best thing for her, but it took me away from my baby. I was literally in a pumping room, pumped, like attached to this machine when I should have been with my baby, and that didn't feel right, and it felt awful because I didn't know if I had a lifetime with her or not, and I was stuck in a room away from her. That's something I would change if I could go back and I was wiser. I wouldn't put as much stress on myself. Yes, you know, if you want to breastfeed, that's fine, but don't put stress on yourself over it. Don't feel like you're letting your child down by not giving them breast milk for whatever reason. My breast milk dried up anyway through stress. I tried to pump constantly, but it was dwindling, and it was, you know, it's decreasing in measures, and they were having to do alternate feeds with formula in the end, and I used to pump until my nipples bled, and it was awful, and I got myself in such a state, and I felt like I was letting my baby down. You know, she was ill and poorly, and the one thing that I should be able to do for her, I couldn't, and that really got to me, and that was hard. Another thing that I would say is look after yourself. It's a hard time. I know it's a hard time, and it's an emotional time, and it's a time of, you know, not knowing what's going to happen primarily, and just remember to look after yourself. I think the biggest mistake I did was I gave up on myself to try and focus on my baby, but what I didn't realise is that you have to look after yourself to be able to look after your baby. I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, I was a mess basically. I don't deal with things well in a day-to-day basis, let alone with something like that, and it has affected me. It has affected me deeply, and it still continues to affect me. I find it very hard to think in detail about what happened, but I think you need to deal with and move on from what happened, so that you can almost get some kind of closure from it. I wish I would have had a support network like Mollie's World back when she was in hospital, and back when I felt like nobody understood what I was going through. My friends and family were amazing, Rob's friends and family were amazing, but they didn't get really what we were going through as parents. Nobody had been through the same thing, so it was a hard time, and they, you know, they try and give you advice and they try and support you, but people that can truly support you are people that have been through the same thing. And that's why I started the blog and the Facebook page, is because I wanted to reach out. I wanted to reach out to people that had been through the same thing, so I didn't feel so alone, and that I could talk about it and I could get it off my chest. The thing was, when Mollie was in Shrewsbury, Scbu, there was a certain nurse on a certain shift that worked quite a lot that wouldn't let me touch my baby, basically. I wanted to obviously hold her and be close to her because that's a mother's instinct, but she'd always say to me, oh, you know, she's just settled, don't touch her, you know, she's just gone to sleep, you know, I'd rather, you know, just leave her to sleep. The thing that they kind of push in Birmingham are absolutely wonderful, is kangaroo care. Is to hold your baby, be close to your baby, because the number one thing that can heal your baby is your scent, is your smell, is your skin to skin, because a baby knows that, it's familiar to that. And I'll never forgive this nurse. When my mum came for the first time to see Mollie, when she'd been moved to Scbu, and saw her in the incubator, as if that wasn't hard enough for a grandmother, but the nurse said it in front of my mum as well, and she was like, oh, you know, be quiet, don't touch her because she's just settled. My mum was devastated because she'd come to see her granddaughter that was, you know, could be seriously ill, and she wasn't allowed to touch her. We weren't even allowed to put our hands in the incubator and stroke her because she felt like we would be disturbing her and we would be, you know, basically annoying her. I can't get over that. I really can't get over that. If I could go back and I had more strength back then, I would have told her to. But There was another one, on the other hand, that was amazing every time she was on, which it wasn't very often, unfortunately, but she would think she was on about twice when Mollie was in Shrewsbury, and she always made sure that she got her out and she let me hold her. And I think that was like the only 2 times while we were in Shrewsbury that I was allowed to hold her, and that was after a few days, so I wasn't allowed to hold my baby for like 4 days. Another tip I would give is don't be scared you're going to break them. One of the mistakes I made was I was so scared looking at Mollie and seeing all the wires and the NG and seeing, you know, even though compared to all the other babies that were in that room she was quite big, because, you know, there was a lot of preemies in there that were tiny, teeny tiny, and she was a good size when she was born. So she looked massive compared to everybody else, but to me she looked so fragile, and I didn't want to break her because I didn't know what was wrong with her. So I kind of took a back seat as her caring mum. I was there, I sat by her incubator early hours in the morning when I took my breast milk, and I didn't stop loving her and wanting to be there. But the caring side, like changing her nappy and stuff like that I should have done, I was scared to do because I didn't want to break her, I didn't want to make anything worse. So every time the nurse said, oh, do you want to change her nappy, I'd be like, no, can you do it? I was petrified, and looking back I shouldn't have done that because it was hard and it kind of took me away from that bonding time with her, and I was struggling to cope, and I regret that. So, you know, for you guys that are going through this, don't be scared to break them. You know, I know they're really ill, but you need to do that for them, because, you know, that's our job as parents, is to look after our children. And I carry a lot of guilt over that. When Mollie moved to Birmingham Children's Hospital, things got a lot better. She wasn't in an incubator anymore, she was in like an open cot, and we were literally encouraged to handle her as much as we wanted. We could pick her up, and we could do a lot more for her. So I kind of relaxed a bit then and felt like I could kind of, you know, change her nappy and stuff. She wasn't in that little plastic box, and I felt like I could touch her more and be there for her more. Another thing that I wish I would have done was try and make friends with parents that were on the ward, the same ward in Birmingham. There was a young couple that were in the same room as Mollie, and they had a little son, and I wish I would have talked to them more, and I wish I would have talked to the other mums in the ward more, because I think that would have helped. I think that would help that, you know, even though you're probably going through all different things, there is that one thing that brings you together, and everyone shouldn't be so scared to ask what's wrong with your child. I think that's kind of what kept us all apart, and it shouldn't have. We should have kind of supported each other, because we were all in very close proximity to each other and going through hard times. And I think that was something that we should have done more of, and I know some people do, and they make fantastic friends, but I think the age factor came into it there really, and I don't know, because I was in so much shock and struggling. You just don't think of these things at the time, and then you look back and you're like, why didn't I do that? So yeah, it's a hard situation, and it's a hard topic to talk about. You'll always remember it, you'll never get over it. I'm not going to say to you, you know, in a few years time, you know, you'll feel fine about it and, you know, it'll all go away, because it won't. You'll always have it there, but it's what makes your child even more precious to you. And although I am so blessed that Mollie is, you know, okay now, although Mollie at 18 months still isn't talking, That might just be her taking her time, which I wouldn't blame her for after everything she went through. But we're going to have to take her to speech and language just to make sure, just to be on the safe side. So hopefully, fingers crossed, she will be able to talk. She can make verbal sounds, as you can probably tell. She throughout this video you'll probably be able to hear her shouting. She's not angry, she's just shouting at the telly, that's what she does. But yeah, so hopefully she'll be able to talk properly and it won't affect her speech development. So that's something that I'm hoping for. I hope this video's helped, and I hope I don't seem to have rambled, but it's all kind of still very chaotic in my mind of what happened and how I got through it, and it's still not settled even though she's 18 months old now, so it was 18 months ago. I don't know if it ever will. I don't think it'll ever get easier, but I think you kind of grow and learn from it, and I'm so proud of her, and I will be sure to tell her that every day when she's older, and she'll have all these videos to look back on, and she'll be able to watch herself grow up on YouTube, which is why I do it, and she'll be able to read the blog posts about when she was poorly and how very brave she was, and she'll be able to see all you guys on Mollie's World and all her friends on the internet, and you know, little boys and girls that have been through the same thing as her, and you know, I hope she's really proud to be part of that, and because I'm very proud to be part of it. And you know, I am lucky that I have got them extra people to talk to and to get to know, and I love to get to know you all, and I love seeing all your comments, and I have people, quite a lot of people in America that watch me. Hi America. And you know, all over the world, and that's what brings us all together. You know, I have a lot of mums that watch me, a lot of mum YouTubers that watch me, and I watch them, and it's a sense of community. No matter what we've been through, no matter where we are in the world, we've all got a platform and somewhere that we can talk to each other and help each other out. I hope this helps, and I hope that, you know, if you are going through a hard time right now, I hope that everything is okay, and I'm sending you lots of hugs and support and strength. So if you have searched for this for this particular reason, you know, I hope some of the things that I've said that have not been rambling have helped just a little bit, and just remember to be strong and carry on and be there for your child, and it's okay to be scared, because that's natural to be scared for your child and for the future. But just know that you're not alone, and there's lots of us that have been through similar, all the same as you, and we're all there if you need us. If anyone wants to email me, I'll pop my email below as well, because I always love meeting new people and finding out their story and their life, because a lot of you guys watch me and know a lot about me, but I don't know anything about you, so I always enjoy having messages of you guys and getting to know you just that little bit more, and I see all the little comments and it makes me smile and it makes my day. So thank you very much for watching, and I'm sorry I didn't do a video last week, but Mollie was like, she had like flu. We had to take her to the doctors and she was sick and everything else, so with all that, obviously my main priority was to look after my little ones. So I hope you understand, and I will be back as normal next Wednesday. Once again, thanks for watching, and please leave me nice little comments. Let me know if your children have been through similar situations. So I'll see you next week. Bye guys. What's this? Wave. Say hey guys. Say I'm all better now. Say I'm all better now. Clap hands. Clap hands. Ah, wind the bobbin up. Wind the bobbin up. Pull, pull, clap, clap, clap. Wind it back again. Wind it back again. pull, pull, clap, clap, clap. There's a worm at the bottom of my garden, and his name is Wiggly Woo. There's a worm at the bottom of Moo's garden, and all that he will do is wiggle over here and wiggle over there. Clap hands. He likes to wiggle everywhere. Mwah. Mwah. Oh, you got lipstick on you now. Oh no. Uh-oh. Mwah. Mwah. You give Mummy kisses. Ah, clap hands. Clever girl. You gonna wave? Wave, good girl. You say hi, guys. Yeah. Who's in there? Is it all people? Say hi, YouTube. Hi, YouTube. You waving? Yeah. Good girl. Where's all the people? Where's all the people?
There.
There, yes. Say I'm all better now. Yeah. Oh. You going down now? Are we done? Okay.